Welcome back to another episode of the On Deck Circle podcast. I am your handsome, tired host, drinking my Miller High Life this evening. Welcome, Jason. How are you today, buddy?
We're just living the high life, Nick. How the hell you been? We missed a little week last week. We're back in the saddle.
It's been a grip, as the kids say.
Ooh.
I'm ready to roll, and we're going to start hot with the cold open question of the week. Tomorrow is one of my favorite days on the sports calendar, Jason. Yeah. It is the NFL draft. You held all the cards in the deck of the NFL draft this offseason.
Yep.
The Bears traded the number 1 overall pick. I need you to tell me right now who you need the Bears to come out with from the draft. Ready, set, hit the music, go. What do we go? Oh, whoa, we had a wardrobe change. That was quick.
You like that? If I would have known we were talking football, I would have brought it out at the beginning of the show, but let's talk football.
So what do we got, Chase?
We got to hope that, to me, Paris Johnson falls to 9. I think.
Got the tackle from Ohio State?
Ohio State, yep. It's not sexy pick, but I think the splash of getting DJ Moore was the sexy pick up for the first pick. So if you can trade back, we already got the wide receiver 1. Let's shore up that offensive line. However, I've been hearing a lot of rumors that he's going to go like top 3, which wouldn't surprise me. Everyone loves offensive linemen, offensive tackles.
Yep.
Dude's huge. He's a freak. Somehow we need to make sure that he falls to 9. I don't know how that happens, but maybe everyone starts falling in love. Maybe a quarterback run starts, right? Everyone was originally saying quarterback at the beginning of the draft. Now everyone's shying away, saying that's not.
You might have Seattle jumping up or Seattle waiting. I'm very excited, and what stinks about being a Patriots fan is the draft.
Yeah, I can see that.
One, because there was such a long period of time where we just picked at the end. We just picked number 32, and we were just like, okay, like whatever. We have Tom Brady. He'll make it work. Now the draft actually matters, Jason.
Yeah.
And it's just been so actually a few years ago on the draft show that we did, I think it was 2020, right? Not we, but the Fantasy Six Pack.
Yeah.
When they drafted Mac Jones, I was live on cam. I jerked my shirt off. I was excited. I was ready to roll for Mac Jones.
That. Damn it.
And
I would have known.
Here was a disappointing. He was not put in a good position to succeed. So what I want this year is a weapon for Mac Jones. And do you know who I want that weapon to be, Jason?
JSN.
Bijan.
Oh.
Give me a running back in the first round. Get all the the radio guys angry here in Boston. He's a gold jacket guy. That's every single thing I've read. So who loves value more than Bill? No one.
Right.
If he sees a Hall of Famer there at 14, he needs to pick him. He's not going to, because it's going to be, I think it's a tackle from Northwestern or something like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be that. But I want Bijan, or my favorite wide receiver on the board, Zay Flowers. Boston College, not great at football. They always seem to have like 1 or 2 people get picked in the first round. It's usually the guys in the trenches. But A.J. Dillon, BC. Matt Ryan, BC. We haven't had that great wide receiver yet. But I think Zay Flowers might be that guy.
Okay.
Because he was at Ohio State, and then he transferred over. So I think he's going to be good.
What missing, though, is the inevitable trade back.
Oh, that's what's really going to happen, Jason.
For like 3 extra 4th-round picks.
The guy that wants the quarterback. A team coming up from maybe Houston skips the quarterback for their first 2 picks, and they're like, oh, we'll give you 3 seconds. And then Bill's like, yes.
Also, I don't know if you have, but I've kind of made a yearly tradition the last few years. Some point in the week leading up to the draft, so obviously I did this yesterday, I rewatch the cinematic masterpiece that is Draft Day. Have you seen Draft Day?
Bro, the last half hour of that movie is just chef kiss. I want all my picks back. I get goosebumps every time.
Yeah,
Hillary
I rewatched it.
Or is that Jennifer Garner?
Jennifer Garner.
Jennifer Garner?
Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Kevin Costner. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I'll just go on the YouTube and just search just the draft scene, because like the rest is all filler. I don't really care about the other things.
Right.
But just in that war room with the fucking folded up pieces of paper. It's so good, Jason.
Vontae Davis over no matter what.
Yes.
Or Vontae Mack. Sorry, Vontae Mack. Shout out Sonny Weaver for making a great hypothetical draft deal that would not ever happen.
I need like an update. Is Bo Callahan a bust?
Yeah, right. Let's revisit this a few years later now.
Yeah. Someone has to have like written some sort of fan fiction about this, right?
Yeah, in my eyes, he probably was a bust. His friends didn't even go to his birthday party.
He didn't go to his birthday party, Jason.
So shout out Bo Callahan and his on his way to his gold jacket in hypothetical world of draft day.
Yeah.
All right, but it is a baseball.
I just want to draft now.
I know. I've been counting down the hour till draft day, but this is a baseball podcast. Dynasty baseball podcast.
I don't want to talk about baseball, Jason.
Not on draft week. Before we get into all this, though, I'm going to take care of some business. If you haven't already, you need to be playing your fantasy baseball at Fantrax. Fantrax has some of the most customizable options. They got a huge player pool. It's where your one-stop shop is for all your fantasy baseball needs, especially for Dynasty. I don't know. I've played on a couple other not to be mentioned sites for Dynasty, and they're awful compared to Fantrax. So sign up to play fantasy baseball at fantrax.com/fantasy six-pack. And yeah, that's all. Take care of the business. As of about, I don't know, maybe 3 hours now.
Speaking of busts,
breaking news here on the Twitter machine. Jordan Walker, outfielder for St. Louis Cardinals, was optioned to AAA in somewhat of a shocking move. I don't think him being optioned as a rookie or, within a month of his rookie season is that much of a shocker. Just I think what's been going on with him is more of a shocking because he hasn't been awful, right? He's still hitting almost 300. He had a red hot start. He had a 12-game hit streak to start off his career. But in the last 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, his batting average has dropped 75 points, now down to about 275. He hasn't hit a home run in almost 3 weeks. He's only had one extra base hit in the last 3 weeks. Still chasing the ball a lot. He's got 20 strikeouts, only 3 walks, which a lot of that is to be expected from a rookie.
Oh, no. We lost Jason. I'm not quite sure why, but I will be here and continue this wonderful podcast. So Jordan Walker gets cut. I want to know, hopefully Jason can hear me or something. Are you dropping him in any format? Obviously not in a dynasty format, but in a redraft, are you dropping him? Jason's back.
I'm back.
Are you dropping him, Jason?
Technical issues, technical difficulties. In redraft or in dynasty?
Redraft. So if you owned him in TGFBI, a competitive league, that maybe in a couple of weeks he gets brought back up. Do you just look at it like a 15-day injury as opposed to
in something in the deep 15-team league, I'm holding on to him for now.
Yes.
But if I'm in a shallower league, I'm looking to the waiver to see who else is out there for now, because especially in a
10-teamer, you can.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
And there's no guarantee that he comes back until he could be down there for another 2 months. You can't be waiting on something like that in a shallow roto head-to-head league.
Yeah, no,
not.
I'm not. I'm surprised. Maybe I give the Cardinals too much credit, but Dylan Carlson last year was not good. And I don't think he got sent down once, unless I'm like really forgetting.
No, I don't think so. They gave him a long.
Tyler O'Neill this year has been very odd. The Cardinals are kind of sus. Like
they lost again last night. I think they've fallen to like 9-15 as a team.
That's bad.
And they can't beat anybody. I think they just got either lost 2 or 3 or they look lost as a team right now. Wilson Contreras, who we all know, I know all too well, has just been awful for them.
Yes. Who knew that if you paid a catcher, it wasn't going to work out?
Yeah, so I don't know. Again, this I think a Dynasty, obviously you're going to hold him, but this to me was a little bit of a shock. I didn't see this coming. Like I said, he hasn't been downright awful. Like he's still hitting 275. He was hitting like 350. It's only been a month. Now he has been struggling again as of late, but he's still getting hits, just no multi-hit games, no extra base hits. Might be pressing a little bit at the plate, but to send them down was a shocker. I think the problem too is they have a logjam of outfielders right now.
So many outfielders.
I feel like they were saying, hey, go back down to AAA, work on your swing, work on your mechanics.
Get the everyday AB.
Where here they're not getting. He sat out the last 2 games. He's not getting that playing time that he needs. So obviously they want him, down there working on his stuff. But absolutely shocker of a move to me.
Yeah, that was a big shock, especially with just like it was a big deal that he made it, and it wasn't that like they gave it's not even a month old. I mean,
right.
Like, especially if your team's not doing well. This is not going to make you play more, like better. Just give him everyday at-bats with the Major League club.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of growing pains.
For sure.
But this week we're going to be that was a little preemptive into what we're going to talk about this week. We're going to talk about guys that are off to a hot start. And can they be sustained? Are you buying into these hot starts? Are you selling these hot starts? So let's get into it right now. The first guy we're going to talk about is Bryce Elder, starting pitcher for the Braves.
He's pitching tonight, actually.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay. To me, I think of all the names, not of all the names, but of the names that we're talking about tonight, I think he is the one that I'm the most skeptical on.
You have to be.
Yeah. He's still giving up a ton of hard contact.
He gave up 1 home run today.
He doesn't throw the ball hard. I think his fastball velo sits like low 90s. His xERA right now is almost 3 whole runs higher than his current ERA of like 1.14. His slider is less vertical break than in previous years. The put away rate is higher though in 2023 on that slider. So I don't know if maybe they added some deception on that slider, but also his left on base percentage right now is at a career best at like over 80% So that's not sustainable either. So for someone that doesn't strike out guys, if they have a high left on base percentage, to me that signifies that they're getting a lot of help from their defense. And it's only a matter of time before that good luck runs out. So to me, Bryce Elder is somebody that I don't think can sustain his hot start. That's just me on the guys we're going to talk about tonight. He's the most skeptical I am on them.
So my question to you is, no, this is not sustainable, but what do you think he is? If he's not this, then what is he?
I think you could still get a solid like 3.5 ERA.
Yes, a 3, even like a 4.1, 4.2 ERA.
Yeah, like a 20% K rate.
He's like inning eaters guys, the guys you need to fill in those minimums. And he seems like a guy, if he can do well enough, at this point, he has to stay in the rotation.
Yeah.
So as long as he's in the rotation, I want him just because of that. He seems to just be like, won't kill you, won't be a league winner. But right now, what we're seeing is impressive on paper because we see the numbers. Some of the numbers are inflated, but I'm still interested. Color me interested in Bryce Elder. I called him, I don't know if you saw this in the in the 30 Rock chat. I asked this like a month ago. No, maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, but I called him Blake Elder, and they just gave me the go around for it. And I was like, I don't know, man. I just see B Elder, and I just said Blake. That's all.
That's classic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think in a season right now too, where we're seeing just injury after injury right now.
You need guys like that. People you can just throw in, set and forget it. Like Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton, not going to win you a league. But you know what? He's still good.
Yeah, I mean, the Braves, too, they're going to win you. They're going to get wins, or he's going to get wins because the Braves are going to get wins.
They're so good.
He's going to get you quality starts because we just talked about it. He's going to get you some innings and get you enough to that the ERA is low enough to get those quality starts. It's still only 23 years old, too, so we still have a lot of room for growth.
He went to Texas, which is always like, I don't know if Texas is still very good at college baseball, but like, I'm always like, oh, well, Roger Clemens went there. He must be good.
I think they're still a powerhouse team.
Yes. I mean, it's the SEC, right?
Yeah. But to me, I think
big call.
The breakout is there, but I don't think it's to this extent that we're seeing.
Yeah, no. He'll be a good, decent major league pitcher. But, like, he's not this.
Yeah, totally agree. So next thing I want to talk about here is Max Muncy. To me, though, this one is kind of a shocker just in the sense that we have seen him produce to this somewhat. It's the rate that it's happening, right? I mean, he's got, 11 home runs? Or 8 home runs? Sorry.
No. I think it's 11, Jason.
That's 11. I'm sorry. I'm reading it wrong. He has 8 home runs off the fastball. For right now, he's getting fed fastballs for some reason. I'm not really sure why. He continues to get fastballs. 8 of his 11 home runs have come on fastballs. Again, I don't think this home run rate is sustainable, but we've seen Muncy have the power. We've seen him hit 35-plus home runs in a season multiple times. Some shocking thing to me was, right now, he's striking out 30% of the time, but he's walking 20% of the time. So for whatever reason, he's still one of these, like, 3 true outcome players, but whether it's a strikeout, walk, or a home run, he's still one of these outliers. Right now, it's only a small sample of a month, but he is on the verge of a 3 true outcome hitter right now, and is lending more towards home runs than the other 2. Also, his home run to fly ball rate is at almost 50%. It's a 48% home run to fly ball rate, which is just absurd, too. I mean, that's almost unheard of. So he's just tearing the cover off the ball.
This makes 0 sense to me. I get it. I do. But, like, this is probably Bryce Elder is the one that surprised me most because I didn't know who Bryce Elder was fucking 3
years. You called him Blake.
Yeah. But, like, this, I wrote him off. It was just like, I was like, oh, he's just like going to be like an Anthony Rendon now. Like, he's fine. He's whatever. But holy crap. This was the one that we're going to talk about that I was the most wrong about, just like by selling him short. I was like, all right, whatever. He's just like, he's old now. He's not going to hit fucking 30 home runs. And now he's just destroying the baseball.
Yeah. I mean, if you pull up a Savant page, it's like blood red. He's like 100th percentile in like barrel rate, exit velocity, hard hit rate, X slugging. And I just saw him here in Chicago. He had a 2 home run game. I think maybe even a 3 home run game against the Cubs. Again, I think similar to what we talked about Bryce Elder, I think we can.
The pace can't stay.
It won't sustain, but it's not like, oh, I'm going to write this off and it's just some sort of hot streak. I think we're absolutely in. I think not only with Max Muncy, but I think just across baseball itself, offense is just
booming
through the roof, which
is great for the game.
As a fan, I absolutely enjoy it. Nothing I hate worse than like a 2-1 baseball game, even if it's only 2.5 hours. I think the booming in offense has been huge. I don't know if it's the balls. I don't know if it's the tempo. We're soon to be TBD, to be determined on what the reasoning is. But I think he's already had 11 home runs in the first month. He's absolutely going to get to 30, maybe even 40 home runs again this year. Like I said, he's had a 36 home run season, multiple 35-plus home run seasons.
That's crazy. I don't think I realized how good he was. Like, I knew he was good, obviously, but not like in like for such a decent period of time.
He was like, there was a stretch where not only that, but he had multiple positions. He was like second base, third,
second base, and
he was hitting 30 bombs. It was like, man, this guy was like a cheat code almost for second base. But I think you can absolutely count on this breakout, but not at this rate, though. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit. The power numbers are going to regress at some point, but the power numbers are real from him. But yeah, I think it's all good.
All right.
Let's talk about, is this the year that Mitch Keller finally puts it all together and showcases what we all know he could do and was doing at the minors, but has failed to do at the major league level? Is this the year?
Hey, Jason.
What's up?
It's not.
It's not?
I mean, the fucking Pirates have a horseshoe up their ass. They're 16-8.
Dude, and like every time I look, every day I look, it's just winning again.
Yeah. Like usually that's like gambling wise. You're like, I'm going to fade the Pirates like all year, and then you'll wind up with money. Currently, people are just losing and losing money betting against the Pirates. Like tonight, they're playing the Dodgers. If last year I told you the Dodgers were playing the Pirates and it was the 5th inning and it was 0-0, you'd be like, well, no, that's not true. It didn't. It does help that the Dodgers were just too busy having sex 9 months ago, because all of them are having babies right now, including Cody Bellinger.
Who's not even on the Dodgers anymore.
That Dodgers team really lays the wood, I suppose. But I'm not completely buying.
Yeah.
I feel like all of the people, actually, no, the next one that we are going to talk about, I completely bought into. Like, I think this is the guy that he is.
Yeah.
But Mitch Keller, again, he's going to be like a major league pitcher, but he's not this guy. This guy that like is borderline elite at the game. Like, he's been so good.
Yeah. And there's a lot of the advanced stats, suggest that as well. I mean, his X slugging, XBA, X WOBA are all just like right at like league average or below league average. There's definitely a regression coming from Mitch Keller and the Pirates in general. I don't know what they have going on over there in Pittsburgh. And so they've been doing so well.
They've signed
Brian Reynolds. They've convinced Brian Reynolds to sign an 8-year contract. I don't know what they got going on over there in Pittsburgh, but it's working right now. But the Mitch Keller, if I were to be selling high in anybody right now in baseball, it would be definitely Mitch Keller. The regression for him is coming, I think. Again, I don't know what the ideal or the peak regression would be, because we've seen just opposite ends of the spectrum. We've seen awful Mitch Keller, and we've seen now a month of good Mitch Keller. So where is the in between? I'm not sure yet.
And even the in between, the awful one, was so bad that I think the average between the two is still pretty bad. So I would like to think he's a little bit more than his average. He's better than his average is, but he's not this elite guy.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I don't know what Pittsburgh's got going on over there, but the regression's coming for that whole team. And it's not like they've been playing slouches either. They've been playing good teams.
Like suddenly the Red Sox being swept by them is like, oh, okay.
Wasn't as embarrassing as you thought it was.
No.
I was trying to see who they may have been playing. Yeah, I mean, they've been playing Boston, Houston, Cincinnati, St. Louis. I mean, they've just been getting through a lot of like some tough teams. So again, look out for the regression monster from the Pirates.
Yeah, I'll be searching Twitter for that.
Yeah. Next guy we're going to talk about is obviously someone that's near and dear to my heart.
Yep.
Nico Hoerner, who is just – this one I think is sustainable.
I think Nico Hoerner is going to be like a very good baseball player for the next like 10 years.
I think it may have been 30 Rock Chat where it was obviously there's rule changes this season, but there was I remember an ongoing discussion as if Nico Hoerner could get to 20 stolen bases in a season. And
yeah, he's almost halfway there.
The majority of the consensus was that he could never get to 20. Or it would be like a very outlier season to get 20 stolen bases. He's already at 9 in the first month.
If he doesn't get 30, 35 this year, it would be like a disappointment.
I mean, don't get me wrong. The rules have obviously helped stolen bases this year, but still, I'm not going to argue about that. But I mean, he's now reached base safely in 20 consecutive games and in 21 out of the 22 games. So he's only had one game where he hasn't so far this year where he hasn't reached base safely. He's driven in 9 runs in the last 4 games. 9, like we were just talking about, 9 stolen bases in the first season, And get this, he's only struck out 7 times.
Oh my God.
In his first 100 plate appearances. He's only struck out 7
bananas.
times.
That's awesome. Do you have a Nico Hoerner shirt yet? Like a
jersey? I don't. I'm behind on that. I do need to get Nico Hoerner jersey.
He's still 25. He's gonna be so good. Like the next 5 years, and especially with Swanson there, he's such a good guy for him to have there. Like Swanson's been that young guy that has the pressure on him. So Swanson being there is gonna be awesome for him. And he's got the second base and shortstop eligibility for fantasy purposes.
Yep.
His slash line is his on base is 387.
Yeah.
That is elite levels right now. And you got the 9 stolen bases. Even the 2 home runs is pretty good for a guy that hits like he hits. He's more of a line drive guy, but not over the fence, but in the like a gap hitter, I guess.
Yeah.
He's more of a gap guy. And the 2 home runs there, that's awesome. 34 hits on 99 ABs. Just someone that I am truly very excited for.
And I don't, he leads off a lot for the Cubs too, so he's setting the table for everything.
Yes.
I think he's a lot of the reason why the team, well, I mean, he's not the only reason, but I mean, he's one of the pillars of why this team is kind of playing better than in the years past. Obviously, some additions in the offseason help as well. But yeah, I mean, for again, a position that's just abysmal as it is, second base is, I'm all in on the Nico Hoerner breakout season. We kind of saw a little bit last year.
Yep. Towards the end was and I think people slept on that. I think people weren't reading into that. They were just like, okay, he's fine. He's like a utility guy for fantasy purposes. I'll plug and play. But this is a guy now that needs to be cemented in your lineup. You can't afford to sit him.
Yeah. I mean, what more do you want from your leadoff hitter than getting on base 21 out of every 22 games?
Yeah, no.
22 games.
Oh, yeah. Hold on a second. Someone needs to come in.
Oh, yeah. I think I hear your doorbell.
Yeah.
This reminds me, we do have a holiday coming up that might coincide with our new.
Oh, there he is.
Yes, there he is.
Do you know who I'm going to talk about right now, Jason?
Tristan Casas.
Nope.
Masataka Yoshida.
Nope.
Don't know. Let me know.
Jarren Duran.
Oh, I should have known.
Jason, is Jarren Duran going to be – what's very funny is the whole time Duran was coming up, I was like, okay, he's like Jarred Kelenic light. He's going to be good, but not as good as we thought he was. And now they're both breaking out at the same exact time.
Love it.
I don't know if you've been really keeping up with it. The Red Sox have been very fun this season. In every game, they were if they're last night, they had a 7-1 lead. They won the game 7-6 because that's what happens. Because they give up a bunch of runs. But Duran has been absolutely smoking the ball. So just as an example, yesterday, the 26th, yes? Yes. No?
He had a grand slam.
Yes, he did. So his batted balls were 1,944 feet as of yesterday. Just the balls he's put in play, on aggregate, just smoking the baseball. He's what did he do today? All right, he got brought back up in 9 games. His slash line is 387, 417, 645 with an OPS of 1.052. 5 doubles, 10 RBIs. What's WRC plus mean? Weighted runs created, yes.
Yep.
180? Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. Saying that 100 is basically average.
He's 2 for 2 on stolen bases. I think he's here to stay, Jason. And
you're right.
I have him in 30 Rock. I'm gonna not trade him because 1 sucks. 2, he's good.
It didn't sound like your normal socks,
socks.
Yeah, there you go.
It's the Luchador sock.
Yeah, that's right. It's not Nick. It's Luchador.
All right, that's all I just need to.
I think you're right. I think Duran. We've been waiting for it. I think again, not all prospect, progression is linear, right? I mean, sometimes it takes these guys a couple seasons just to kind of find their way. And I think we might be seeing a Jarren Duran breakout sticking around for the Boston Red Sox.
Man, I really hope so, because this season, I don't want to say it's not a lost season.
It's a bit of a roller coaster so far.
It's a development season, and I really need to see, like, Cassis has been turning it around. Pirates are now winning 2-0. But Cassis is turning around. He bat flipped an 11-pitch walk today.
Oh,
he's a interesting guy that we will talk about at some point this season, I think.
Yeah.
Just like I think he's going to be very good. And if Duran can be good, and even like Reese McGuire's been good, they're all been so good. And I think if Duvall can come back healthy, Story maybe come back soon, we might be able to make some noise in like September to be in like a wild card type of situation. So that's where I'm at.
Love the Bo Sox minute with El Luchador.
See,
but I think we're maybe burying the lead here, and that is the return of
Down on the Farm.
Yo, I low-key thought Dave was about to pop up like a ghost. And I'm like, yeah.
We have not seen or heard that voice on this podcast in almost 2 years. So it was good to bring back the old on the farm intro. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was appropriate to go ahead and talk about
nice one.
Hold on. Let me make it a ticker. We don't need no giant thing. Let's just keep it
this highlight is
disgusting,
just so you know.
Oh, see, look at that. We picked. Not only did it was it a homage to Dave, but you approved the pick. We're gonna go ahead and talk about Colt Keith, the third baseman in the Tigers organization, currently at Double-A. He's the Tigers' fourth-ranked prospect. He was the 132nd overall pick in the 2020 draft, which, if you remember correctly, there was only 5 rounds in the 2020 draft. So he snuck in that last round, in the 5th round for the Tigers. He plays mostly third base. He will DH at times too. He's got a great hit tool. The power's still kind of coming around. It's not quite there yet, but the hit tool's been great. He's hit above 300 last year at A-ball. He's already off to a hot start this season. He's hitting 339 with a 957 OPS. Again, the power's not quite there. We might want from your third baseman, but I think within some time, and who knows with the way, you can never know right now which ball's being used in the major leagues. But I think I don't think 15 to 20 home runs is out of the realm for Colt Keith. Again, this is his first season getting to Double-A, and he's already kind of showing right now that he may be seeing Triple-A by the end of the season. But I think Colt Keith, if for some reason, if you're in maybe not quite a deeper league, or if he's somehow available on your waiver wire and you have the roster flexibility, he's someone you maybe want to take a look at. If you're, he may not stick at third base, but it's hard to say with the prospect. But for this week, Colt Keith is my down on the farm prospect spotlight.
Nice. My goal next week is to pick somebody that you have no idea who they are.
I love that.
Is actually a guy.
Yeah. I love that. I'm always about learning new people. I think that's why people would tune in too, is to not hear about top 100 prospects. I mean, you can just go to MLBpipeline.com and literally look up the top 100 prospects. So
that was going to be my plan.
So I think, highlighting some guys that are outside the top 100, I think that's what kind of started the segment, right? With 2 years ago or whatever it was, when we decided to make that segment, was to highlight some guys that need that notoriety that haven't received it from other outlets.
That's why we are here, the Fantasy Six Pack, the On Deck Circle podcast.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's going to wrap it up this week. We'll be back
next draft, Jason.
I can't wait, man. I can't wait. We're now about what 24 hours? Exactly 24 hours. We'll now be hearing.
Who's going one? Are you in the camp of the Will Levis stuff is like fake? Or they're actually dumb enough to draft Will Levis one?
So here's the thing. Everyone hates on Will Levis. I love Will Levis. Do I think he goes number one? No. I think you know who Colts I could see. I mean, listen, Peyton Manning came out and said that he was built in this class. He was one of the most built for the position quarterbacks available.
Okay. And Manning said that?
Peyton Manning said that, yep.
Okay.
Just as a physical attributes, right? Like he's got the size, the height to play the quarterback position from the pocket.
Elder's given up 3 home runs today. It's 3-0.
We've already ruined the show.
We've ruined the show.
All right, Nick. We'll talk next week.
All right, see you, bud.